The Turtle Dragon's Gift. Long ago, in a quiet seaside village, lived a young impoverished fisherman. His life was defined by the rhythm of the tides and the simplicity of his daily catch. One afternoon, a fierce storm drove his small boat ashore onto a desolate, rocky island. There, wedged tightly in the jagged crevices of a reef, he discovered a sea turtle of impossible size. Awestruck and moved by pity, the fisherman scavenged a sturdy wooden oar and used it as a lever to carefully pry the rocks apart, guiding the ancient creature back into the embracing ocean. Years slipped by. One day, while the fisherman was mending his nets on the familiar village beach, the tranquil water suddenly surged. A massive sea turtle emerged from the surf and crawled deliberately onto the sand, stopping right before the bewildered man. Despite its staggering growth, the fisherman instantly recognized the creature he had saved so long ago. The giant beast rested motionless, fixing its gaze upon him as if communicating a silent promise. Recognizing no threat, the fisherman relaxed. Suddenly, the creature began to violently writhe. Its thick limbs retracted deep into its shell, and its neck twisted with the agonizing fluidity of a serpent. Before the fisherman's shocked eyes, the beast began to molt. Pulling itself free from its massive carapace, the creature's soft body rapidly elongated, hardening into shimmering, impenetrable scales. Its clumsy flippers morphed into massive, razor-sharp talons. Lightning arched in the depths of its eyes, and its jaws snapped open to reveal rows of gleaming white teeth. In mere moments, the sea turtle had forged itself into a magnificent dragon. Still catching its breath, the nascent dragon lowered its massive head, its eyes brimming with gratitude. Gently, it nudged its discarded shell toward the fisherman, an offering. With a final knowing blink, the dragon launched itself into the sky, spiraling upward until it vanished into the endless azure. It took a long time for the fisherman to break from his trance. The colossal shell, larger than a small boat, sat heavy in the sand, proving it had been no dream. Securing it with thick ropes, he dragged the shell home and suspended it between two stout coconut trees. It made a spectacular hammock, and he spent many evenings swaying in it, dreaming of the deep sea and the skybound dragon. Months later, a traveling caravan passed through the village. The lead merchant halted in his tracks, his eyes locked onto the fisherman's hammock. Approaching with barely contained urgency, the merchant offered to buy the shell for an astounding 1,000 gold coins. Believing the man to be entirely mad, the fisherman eagerly accepted the fortune and watched the caravan haul his hammock away. That money changed the fisherman's life. He purchased a fleet of robust fishing vessels, eventually accumulating vast wealth and stepping into the life of a prosperous boat owner. Years later, while visiting a bustling trade city, the fisherman unexpectedly crossed paths with the very same merchant. Delighted, the fisherman booked a private dining room at a high-end inn and hosted a lavish dinner, expressing his deep gratitude for the bizarre transaction that had funded his current success. As the wine flowed, his curiosity finally got the better of him, and he asked why the merchant had paid a king's ransom for a simple, empty shell. The merchant smiled, a secretive glimmer in his eye. "Have you ever heard the legend of the turtle dragon?" he asked. "They are mythical beings that must endure centuries trapped in the form of a sea turtle. Only when they shed their shell can they ascend as true flying dragons. Within the spine of that naturally discarded shell rest 24 joints, and within each joint forms a radiant, priceless pearl. But these pearls only exist if the dragon sheds the shell naturally upon reaching maturity. If a hunter kills the turtle early, the shell yields nothing." The merchant took a sip of wine and continued, "The price I paid you was a fraction of its true worth. I recognized the shell of a turtle dragon, but I had to gamble on whether it had been shed naturally or taken by force. I took a risk and it paid off." The fisherman sat in stunned silence. He had witnessed the miraculous transformation with his own eyes, proving the merchant's gamble was true. Yet the idea of 24 pearls hiding inside his old hammock felt surreal. Sensing his disbelief, the merchant reached into his bag and retrieved an intricately carved golden box. "I have sold 23 of those pearls to emperors and kings," the merchant whispered, "but I could not bear to part with the last one." He instructed the fisherman to blow out all the lanterns in their private room. As complete darkness fell over them, the merchant opened the box. Resting on a bed of heavy velvet was a pearl the size of an egg, casting a soft, ethereal glow that illuminated the enclosed space. Bathed in the pearl's radiant light, the fisherman finally understood the true depth of his karma. The dragon had not just left behind its past. It had purposefully shed its armor at his feet, leaving a king's fortune to balance the scales for a single act of kindness.